This is Colin McGuigan for IFLTV. Delighted to be joined by Gabe Rosado, King Gabe Rosado, in Los Angeles, California. I actually just heard you speak about the time that you fought here in 2014.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that, first of all.
Yeah, man. I fought Antonio Gutierrez here, man. We won that fight. I was working with Vargas at the time, Fernando Vargas, and it's a great atmosphere, bro. But when that sun is setting, bro, that sun gets in your face, man. It's crazy. But by the time Diego and Sulecki fight, the sun would be down by then. But I was like one of the first fights. I was like the opening bout, I believe. And the sun was crazy, man.
What was the main event back then, Gabe?
The main event that night, man. Oh, I think it was Solito. Man. Solito was like on the road at that time. I think it was Solito.
This would be like a hometown kind of fight for you?
What's up?
It's like a hometown kind of fight for you?
Yeah, man, because, I've been in Los Angeles for 10 years now, man, so I know I got a big fan base. The Mexicans, they love the way I fight, man, so even though I fought a Mexican, it was like they were going for him, and then they started going for me, so it was like a back and forth. It was kind of funny.
Talk to me a little bit about Diego Pacheco, someone that you sparred from he was 15 years of age. First of all, how special, and did you know that early on that Diego Pacheco was going to be special?
Yeah, man, I like Diego a lot, man. We probably started sparring when he was 15, 16, and he's one of those fighters that he takes advice, and he listens. He's just not in there trying to let his hands go. He's trying to be crafty. He's trying to be smart. So, he's a fighter, man, where he's just getting better as time goes by, man. And this is a great test for him. Sulecki's not, he's not in his prime, but he does have the experience. And that's a big deal. And he has that sneaky right hand. So right now what Sulecki's relying on is that experience and the lack of experience that Diego has. And that's a big factor. He may not have the speed. He may not have the same power that Diego possesses, but he does have the ring generalship and the IQ.
Talk to me a little bit about a step up for Diego Pacheco, because this is a step. Where would you like to see him step to next if he comes through this on Saturday?
I think he's on the right track. This is the kind of fight that, is definitely going to test him, and we're going to see where he's at when a crafty vet, maybe makes adjustments, and then we're going to see how he responds to that. So if he looks good coming out of this fight, I think maybe 2-3 more fights and then get that world title.
Well, we've just seen the IBF strip Canelo.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the number one position, it is Diego Pacheco.
Oh, for sure.
Do you believe that maybe there's a potential that they could try and squeeze him in, get him in the mandatory spot?
Oh, yeah, that'd be dope. I'm not sure who the mandatory would be against, but, I think definitely, man, Diego's on the right track. His body's starting to develop into that man strength, you know what I mean? So, and like I said, man, it really comes down to what kind of performance he puts on this weekend. And like I said, Sulecki's not the same guy from when we fought, but he's still a crafty vet, and he has height. So a lot of the times Diego's the taller guy, but Sulecki's not short. Sulecki's about 6'2". He's a tall guy, man. So he, it's a different look that Diego will have as far as size. And the thing is that Sulecki doesn't give up his height because he doesn't squat down. He stands straight up. Diego kind of gives up his height because he opens his legs real wide. So they'll kind of be even right there in size once they face off.
Having been in there with both guys, obviously Pacheco only in sparring, what do you believe this fight looks like on Saturday?
I think if Diego stays disciplined to a jab and works off the jab, he can control Sulecki. But if Diego gets into a firefight with Sulecki, then he's going to give Sulecki the opportunity to counter with that right hand. That's Sulecki's money shot, is for you to get engaged with him, and he's here catching. You might land some shots, but he throws that sneaky right hand. So take away the right hand with a jab, you know what I'm saying? Walk the opposite side, walk to his left, take away that right hand, and stay disciplined with a jab. And I think that if Diego does that, he could dominate the fight.
I want to get your opinion on a couple other fights. Caleb Plant, big fight coming up against Trevor Cumbie. How do you think that goes?
You know, Caleb, man, he's a guy that he's dedicated to the sport. He lives a clean life. He has a good trainer, Brett, man, who, you know, a friend of mine's from Philly. And you know, when you come off of, even though he lost to Canelo and he lost to Benavidez, these are world-class, top-notch fighters, right? I think that Plant is the kind of fighter that he comes back better than he was because you learn something from those fights. It's like Canelo when he fought Mayweather. He learned from Mayweather and he took a little bit of Mayweather's book, some pages from his book, and he added it to his game. So I think that's what we're going to see with Plant. I think Plant's going to add something that he might have learned from Canelo and something he might have learned from Benavidez. And he's going to add that to his game. I think he'll get a stoppage.
Canelo Berlanga, obviously you're Puerto Rican. Are you going to be siding with Edgar that night?
You know, look, man, I know both fighters. You know, I've sparred with Berlanga, and I've never got to work with Canelo. But you know, like I said, man, what Berlanga has is a puncher's chance. As far as him outsmarting Canelo, I don't see that happening. I think what he has to do is maybe use his youth and his size and try to just press the action, you know, and make Canelo fight in spots where he maybe doesn't want to fight. But that's gonna be hard to do, man, because Canelo's he's not an easy target. You know, Canelo, you can only touch him when he's walking you down with that picky-boo stance, and he's really just walking you down just to counter you. But, you know, when Canelo wants to give you that head movement, as he did with Munguia in his last fight, he looks great. So it's a tough task for Berlanga, but he does have a puncher's chance.
In terms of, you know, you mentioned Benavidez a few minutes ago in sparring with Caleb, or fighting Caleb Plant. I asked yesterday Jose Benavidez about Canelo. I don't know if you've seen Paulie Malignaggi's comments this week where he said that the biggest duck in boxing ever would be Canelo ducking Benavidez. What do you think about that?
You know, I don't think he's ducking him, man. I think it's a business thing. I think Canelo has put himself in a position where he's fought the best. If you look at his last fights, right? We're talking Bivol, Ryder, Munguia, you know, the smaller Charlo, but he dominated them. And then, you know, when you look at Trout and Cotto and all these guys and Laro and Golovkin, come on, man. The guy has a Hall of Fame resume. So he's in a position now where he's like, I don't need these mandatories. I don't need none of this. I'm going to move how I want to move. And when that fight happens, if that's the fight y'all want, then this is what y'all got to pay. You know what I'm saying? He put himself in that position where it's like, y'all want this fight? Well, this is what I need.
If it did happen, who wins?
You know, to me, it's a really close fight because Benavidez is a hungry, hungry lion. But Canelo is a prideful fighter, man.
You think Canelo could old man him?
You know, man, Canelo, I think he's definitely the bigger puncher. I think Benavidez takes you out with the accumulation of punches, so it's the punishment. But here's the thing. Can you really land that many punches on Canelo? Canelo has the head movement. Canelo beats the arms up. There's a lot of things that Canelo does that will present a lot of problems for Benavidez. But, you know, like I said, Benavidez has that hunger and he has a good jab. And he's a machine. So it's a great fight. It's a fight I want to see, but I know where Canelo's coming from. He's coming from a place where it's like, yo, I paid my dues. I did what I had to do. I'm the face of boxing as far as, you know, I generate the most numbers. So y'all want that fight, this is what it's going to be.
Last one from me. Gabe Rosado comeback incoming or what?
You know, man,
I ask you this every time.
I'm actually enjoying, you know, working the fights and working the shows. You know, I think you know, you always got that urge. So it really depends on what kind of opportunity was to present itself. But you know, I'm not in camp. I'm not getting ready or anything like that, man. It's just if a great opportunity was to present itself, then all right.
Gabe Rosado, always a pleasure. Thank you, man.
Sure. Thank you, bro. No doubt.